On a bright, beautiful day in September, our nation recoiled in horror.
On the morning of 9/11, my husband called me at 8:52 in the morning. He was working at his desk, which was on the 94th floor of the South Tower. I hung up the phone, continued to watch the TV, and at that point, I saw approximately where he was in his building explode. And then, I never heard from him again.
There wasn't a town around us that didn't lose 10, 15, sometimes 20 people.
Across the country, Americans wondered how this possibly could have happened.
I just started asking questions, and then my questions got more pointed. And then they didn't have answers for my questions. And then I was like, well, go get the answers.
4 widows from New Jersey pressed for an investigation, but the government resisted.
The tendency of government on the day that 3,000 U.S. citizens die is to go into lockdown. We're not going to share anything with anyone.
It was a modern-day pilgrimage. People came in cars and in buses, by helicopter and on foot. All across the country, hundreds of thousands of people packed their bags and set off on an epic journey. Destination? Woodstock.
I'm going up the country, wherever you wanna go. I'm going up the country, wherever you wanna go. I'm going to some place where I've never been before.
In the spring of 1969, the concert organizers began placing ads for an aquarium exposition. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, The Who, Jefferson Airplane, and more, all playing together for 3 days in upstate New York. The chain forge manufactured iron and steel chain for anchors, railings, and other uses aboard ship. The ovens roared at 2,100 degrees, and the entire yard shook from the force of the massive hammers. Machines bent 4-inch steel with ease. In the 1920s, the Charlestown yard pioneered die-lock chain. Made from steel, it was stronger, cheaper, and more uniform than the standard forged iron chain. The largest links produced here formed anchor chain for battleships and aircraft carriers.
Let's take a trip. A trip is fun to take.
Yes, this is the locking or assembly operation wherein the socket is joined with the stem. There's the socket going right over the stem member.
And these are going to be squeezed together, right?
That's right.
Okay,
hammer.
now let's watch this hammer squeeze these 2 pieces together.
Over the centuries, new technologies were invented that kept the marketplace going. Like the printing press, which allowed us to share valuable information with anyone who could read. Newspapers that reached even more people. The telegraph, which zipped ideas across entire continents in a matter of seconds. And pretty soon, ideas were flying back and forth around the world. Revolutions were debated. Compromises were hammered out.
And with the advent of movies and television, the marketplace was really humming.
Brian Lamb is a true Hoosier. He is very much a man with Midwestern sensibilities. No flash, no hype. He's enormously interested in people.
He's not partisan, he's fair. There's absolutely no thumb on the scale of justice here. And the result is that C-SPAN is one of the few institutions in Washington that everyone considers above reproach.
C-SPAN has changed the way Washington works. C-SPAN has changed the people's relationship with their government. And it traces back to one individual, Brian Lamb, and the power of his idea.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lamb. How are you this morning, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you very much for C-SPAN, sir.